What's happening, Delco? I'm Rich Shane, and welcome to the What's Happening Delco podcast. Today, I'm joined by Ranieri of A Vibe Above. Dawn, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Rich, for having me.
I'm excited, and we're going to talk energy. We're going to talk a lot of holistic things today. Dawn, what do you do?
So what I do is I'm an energy and frequency practitioner, as well as a transformational life coach. What I do is I help adults and young adults rise above their limitations, their blocks, their fears, anything that holds them back from remembering who they truly are as a powerful human being and, the leader of their own life. We are frequency beings and always emitting a frequency if we like it or not. So this internal frequency that we have is always vibrating through us. Some may call this woo-woo, but frequency can be measured. So when we're aligned and intentional, what we desire can flow. I help clients get aligned to that place of flow state so they can manifest whatever they desire.
All this energy is around us all the time. So, I know you characterize it in a way as woo-woo, but this is really, if you look back to history, there were things that were considered, I'm going to again use your term woo-woo, that today are more mainstream. And I think what you're talking about, frequency and energy, is becoming more mainstream. So this is something valuable in people's overall health that can be introduced to what they're doing every day.
Oh, yes, absolutely. This has been around forever, and it's, unfortunately something that we really haven't been taught in school. We learn a little bit about it, but we really don't learn how to be a human being, and that whole aspect of us being an energy being and that we hold specific frequencies. So it's great that this is becoming more mainstream and you're seeing more of it now.
Now, as a practitioner, I understand you use a device to measure a lot of this energy. Can you talk about that?
Sure. So I use a device called Healy, and what it is, it's twofold. It's a microcurrent device. A lot of you may know that athletes at sports teams use this if they're injured or, they have discomfort. But what it does is it communicates with the cells and tissues of your body and, even your organs. So, depending on where we're using this, there's that communication that happens so that it talks to those cells to try to get them back in balance. Another aspect of it is frequency. So it's got a quantum sensor in it. And what this does is it reads your bioenergetic field, which is your information field. It analyzes what comes up, and then it delivers those customized frequencies that are specifically for you, for a specific client. And it, delivers those frequencies and helps bring that body back into balance or whatever that area is that they need. This device brings science, spirituality, and even mind together. For me, I've been using it for 3 years, and it's been, amazing in my practice. I don't need to be dragging a client through months of remembering every aspect of their past. Sometimes we can get to the root cause of an issue like within minutes. For me, this has made the invisible visible. Clients will see root causes of issues that are even in their subconscious come up on this device, and it becomes a game changer for them on how to move forward.
You mentioned the last 3 years, and how did you come across this device?
So it was actually introduced to me by just someone I literally followed on Facebook, another spiritual health coach. And at first I was kind of like, not really into devices. I was really fascinated. She did the scan on me. She showed me how it worked, and it was very fascinating, but I was still kind of skeptical. So, and at that time I was doing a lot more Reiki and, things were going well, but, a lot of times I doubted myself because again, we're working with energy, which is invisible. And I meditated on it, is this device for me? And I literally heard, yes, this makes the invisible visible. And for me right away, I'm like, wow. So, this is going to benefit me because, maybe I'll not self-doubt myself. And also it was great for clients that really didn't understand, aspect of energy and that we're energy, because it literally shows you, what areas are out of balance and how, what frequencies we're going to use to put it back in balance. So it's changed my life ever since. And it's really great because it amplifies, whatever areas we're working on. So I tell people, this isn't going to change what you're already using. So, if you're doing fitness, or maybe you have an injury and you're doing physical therapy, this just kind of excels what you're doing, and you're using this alongside of that to kind of speed up recovery.
Now, you talk about this device, it's called Healy, and this is something that's integral in what you do in your business and your healing practice. But this is something, from what I understand, anybody can have, but you've become an expert, and not only an expert in understanding what it does and what it can do, but mentoring other people and teaching them if they choose to have this device as well, right?
Yes, I actually recommend that clients do have their own device. Not only, if we're working on something specific in a session, but this is a great device to, scan your body every day and see what may be off, and then run those frequencies, again, to get you into balance. Or, maybe there's a specific pain or, discomfort that you're having, that you can, connect yourself to the microcurrent and just work through that specific area. It comes in handy every day. So I do train clients very thoroughly, and I also train other healers, coaches, fitness trainers, even business owners. It really doesn't matter. This is not just for the health and wellness. This device is limitless. I train a unique way because there's so much that this device does in so many areas. You can be so creative with it. And, not even just with the Healy, but any type of service or modality, everything is 98% your intention. It's going to work as well as the intention you put into it.
You've discovered this spiritual side, this holistic side, this energy side about you. Where did this come from? When did you discover this about yourself? Because I think a lot of people may think it's there or know it's there or not sure, but there are people that do know. How did you discover this for yourself?
That's like a whole podcast in itself.
Well, we'll have to come back.
Yeah.
More with Dawn Ranieri.
It's just such a weird story, and it is a long one, but it's, growing up, I was Catholic child, and, I had that whole thing going. And, even though when I was younger, I played with crystals and nature, and I was really connected that way. But it wasn't until I was, older in my life, and I just had some very spiritual things happen to me where I discovered energy work. I discovered Reiki. I discovered, crazy things. And I know people are going to be like, what? Past lives, which at the same time, I was like, what the heck? What is this stuff? Just all this stuff that came to me. And, it was from someone, a grandparent, and it just opened up a whole thing. And again, this is something that I really can't really go into. It's a lot, but that whole experience, it was like a metaphysical experience that happened to me that opened me up to energy work and learning more about crystals and Reiki. And, from Reiki, I really experienced that, it's not just being attuned and becoming a vessel for energy. We are energy, and we can just bring energy from anywhere. And we're so powerful. And, a lot of my practice is about teaching, no matter if it's young adults or adults, how powerful they are, how powerful mind, body, and spirit are. And that, what they create inward, and a lot of it is unconscious, is what's reflected out, in this world and what you see. So, but, that's kind of it in a nutshell.
I mean, that's fascinating because, again, a lot of people think they have certain discoveries or they don't follow them about themselves, and you have. And it's created this whole world where I'm sure you've come in contact and in communication with a lot of people that have helped you reach where you are today. Who were some of the mentors for you? Who inspires you in the field that you work in?
Oh my God, there's so many. One comes to mind. Her name's Erica Rock, and it's funny because literally last week she came in to Healy with me. She was one of the people in the beginning that taught me mindfulness. Before I started teaching mindfulness, a whole different aspect of how to get into that center. Alicia Hartzell's another one, where one of the modalities I use is called Sacred Soul Alignments, and in these beautiful energy codes where I can work through these codes to clear things that are generational, backwards and 7 years backwards and forwards. So they're two of the big ones for me. There's just so many. I've been really blessed to be to be connected to a lot of different spiritual practitioners and coaches that I've learned from, and that have just kind of resonated with me and made me really understand that I know who I truly am, which is, for most people, when they finally knew that, you've unlocked the biggest block of your life. And I feel like I've been able to do that because of them.
What motivates you? What gets you out of bed every morning?
Well, there's a wonderful man in my life that does. But just knowing that I get up and I can help people and, change somebody's life, just by empowering them to see how incredible they are and how powerful they are. And, once they know that they have that gift, it's always been there, that they can do anything. So that's just, a great feeling to have.
How do people find you? How do people connect with you?
Well, they can find me on my website at A Vibe Above. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at A Vibe Above. You can find some really great meditations, some guided meditations, and some solfeggio frequency music on my channel. So definitely look out for more to come.
I was looking at some of your YouTube, some of the things on your YouTube, and you said solfeggio, but you've got this really neat kaleidoscope, and these frequencies are so mesmerizing. I almost get lost in just the sound and what's happening on the screen. They're really neat.
Thanks. Yeah, I have fun because I take a photo, and a lot of times I will put different things in the photo depending on what the meditation is going to be about, and I'll put affirmations in it, and then I have software that will literally change that photo into the kaleidoscope. So it's a lot of fun to play with. Now,
you're a Delco native pretty much, aren't you?
Probably about 48 years. Yep.
48 years. I put that somewhat as a Delco native. How do you describe Delco to people? How do you kind of give them the idea of what is Delco?
For me, it's just this close-knit community. And, I see Delco as a really big area, but it's very close-knit, and it doesn't matter what part of Delco you're from. People come together to help each other and support each other all the time. And I just what I love about it the most.
So you are working with your client and you're on your way to one of the sessions you're doing with them, and you have a craving for a cheesesteak. Where are you going?
I would say Johnny Pisano's.
Johnny Pisano's, who was a guest of the podcast here, and not only makes a great cheesesteak, but he makes great pork sandwiches and soups. And it's a full smorgasbord of food deliciousness that he provides.
Yeah, definitely deliciousness.
All right, you get that day, you get that cheesesteak, and the next day you're thinking, I'd really like a pizza. Where are you going for pizza?
All right, so this is stuff that I normally don't eat anymore because of, my own digestive stuff. But, there's a lot of great places in Delco, but my favorite is still Pica's.
Yeah, if you're 48 years into Delco, that's a mainstay for pizza.
Oh, yeah, it's amazing.
You're out and about. I got to ask you, if you need a convenience store option, where are you going? Wawa or Royal Farms?
There's just no competition on this one. Wawa.
You have friends coming into town. You want to take them somewhere. You want to give them that Delco experience. Where are you taking them, or where are you sending them to?
I think I would like to take them to Media, which I just love that area, and stroll around State Street. There's just so many cool stores. The restaurants, there's so much greatness to choose from. It would probably be tough, but they have so many options. So I think that's where we would be hanging out.
This has been great. And I'm so grateful to learn more about what you do and share this with the What's Happening Delco audience. Is there anything we haven't talked about on the podcast today? Is there anything you want our listeners to know about you or your business?
No, I think that's good. But, if they are interested in learning more, they hopefully now know where to find me.
Find Dawn Ranieri. Do what you need to do for 2023. Whether it's energy or spirituality, this is the time to discover yourself, to move forward, to raise your vibration, right? And become the person you're supposed to become, right?
Absolutely.
Dawn, thanks for being a friend of What's Happening Delco, and we can't wait to talk to you again soon.
Thank you so much. I can't wait.